Hello, I'm Matt, and I'd like to welcome you to the channel. If today is your first visit to our channel, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you will know when we upload a new video. Today's video is going to cover Chapter 13 of my book, Deciding for Life, How I Lost 70 Pounds Without Working Out and While Still Eating Foods That I Love. Before I get started, I must give a quick disclaimer. I am not a medical professional, and I give no medical advice. My goal with my book, Deciding for Life, How I Lost 70 Pounds Without Working Out and While Still Eating Foods That I Love, as well as this YouTube channel, is to inspire others to find a healthy way, not necessarily the deciding for life way, for them to lose a substantial amount of weight like I have, so that they can feel how awesome I feel. So if you see something in my book or in my YouTube videos that you find interesting, make sure you consult with your doctor before you attempt any of those things, because something that is healthy for me and my health conditions may not be healthy for you and your health conditions. Deciding for Life, though, is what worked very well for me to lose 70 pounds without working out and while still eating foods that I love. Now on to Chapter 13. Chapter 13 is titled Naysayers, dealing with people that are overweight and their perspective on your weight loss. People's reaction to your weight loss can be influenced by the struggles that they've had with their own weight. Many of their comments, though they may be negative, aren't necessarily meant to be hurtful, but they do in a lot of instances reflect their own self-image of their own weight. One of these situations that I can remember is when I first lost a decent amount of weight. I had a person that I worked with, and he come out and says, "Do you have AIDS?" Because he saw how much weight I lost, and that was, a comment that he made. And you really don't think about how that can affect somebody, but it certainly didn't make me feel very positive for somebody to ask a question like that. Another instance, I hadn't seen somebody in several years, and the last time I saw him, I was pretty substantially overweight. And when I saw him again, they saw me and they're like, are you sick or something like that? And they seemed very concerned. And I had to explain to them that, I had intentionally lost weight because I was tired of being overweight. And, it's kind of funny that their retort was, well, you look too skinny. And it's kind of funny. It's because you have to look at, how people see themselves. When you're overweight and you look at other people that aren't overweight, you have a tendency to think that they're too skinny because they're not as heavy as you are. And you have to keep that in mind when you're dealing with, other people's perspectives of your weight, especially if they're overweight. A lot of times people will see you at an appropriate BMI or, within an appropriate BMI range, and they'll think you're, too skinny, but it's because of their perspectives of how much weight they have, and that's what seems normal to them. So it's not necessarily that they're trying to be negative towards you, and they may genuinely have concern for you, but a lot of times they say things based on their own perspectives of their own weight and what is normal to them. And some of the most difficult people to deal with are those people that are overweight that want to tell you how to lose weight when they can't even do it themselves. And that can be very frustrating. They see the techniques that you use that are working for you. Like I've lost 70 pounds, and sometimes people look at the things that I do, how I have a cheat day once a week, and they'll say, make comments like, I don't think it's good for you to stretch your stomach out like that on your cheat day, or, I don't think it's healthy for you to have a cheat day. But you look at them and they're overweight and they can't lose weight and they haven't been successful in losing weight. Yet they're some of the first people to tell you that what you're doing is wrong, or, give you a different suggestion on how to lose weight when they can't even do it, which is kind of interesting to me. And sometimes this can be just a misunderstanding because they don't understand how you're losing weight, how you can have a cheat day and eat what you want on a cheat day and still lose weight. And to some people, they may just be jealous because you can lose weight and they haven't been able to. And sometimes people say negative things just based on those things. And you have to keep all of those things in perspective so that, it doesn't negatively affect your relationship with your family and friends. But you also have to be very cautious of being around people that are that negative towards your weight loss, because it is really easy to go back to being overweight. You get around people that, just encourage you to eat. You go eat with them and you eat what you need to eat, in order to, maintain your weight or lose some weight. And they're pushing food at you like, oh, you need to eat some more, or, oh, here's some more, there's plenty of food, those kind of things. And they really don't realize, or maybe they do, but, they really don't realize that that has such a negative effect on a person that's trying to maintain their weight or trying to lose weight. It's kind of like somebody, forcing alcohol or drugs in your face when you're an addict. It doesn't help when people do those kind of things. And you just have to brush it off if you want to maintain a good relationship with people. And I sometimes wonder if the times I've gained my weight back, if it hasn't been somewhat because of things that people have said. Because it does get kind of old when people are, negative towards your weight loss. They think you're too skinny, and it's really based on that they're too overweight, they're too fat. People don't like to use the word fat, but the reality is in this country, we have a lot of people that are truly too fat. And I was one of them. There was a time I was over 265 pounds. So I really know what being on both sides of that equation can be like. Another comment that I've gotten on the other side on my system days is people think that I'm starving myself when they see the portions that I eat or the snacks that I eat. And the reality is I'm eating just enough to offset my hunger, so that I can do the things I want to do throughout the day, but still either maintain my weight or, when I'm losing weight, lose weight. And to some people, especially those people that are overweight, it doesn't look like you're eating enough to them because of the amount of food that they're used to eating. And you have to keep that in perspective. And sometimes it's kind of difficult to deal with people because if you go over to eat with them and they see you, take small portions, some people are offended by that. And you just have to find a way to explain to them that, you're eating small portions because you're maintaining your weight or you're trying to lose weight. It's not that you're being rude because you're not eating as much of the food that they've presented, but it's what you need to do so that you can have the health that you want to have, and maintain the weight that you want to maintain or lose the weight that you want to lose. And another way to deal with it is if you're going out for a special occasion like a birthday or the holidays, when Christmas comes around, Thanksgiving comes around, it doesn't necessarily fall on my cheat day. So what I'm going to do is I just add it as an additional cheat day and realize that for that week, my weight's going to go up. And then I work back at moving it back down to where I want it. Some of those things are things that you can do so that you can offset those issues that you have when you go over somebody's house to eat, so that, they're not offended by you not eating as much as they think you should eat. So in those circumstances, Thanksgiving, Christmas, I'll go and I eat what I want. And then, after it's over, or maybe after the next week, because there's a lot of leftovers. So, I may have a week that, I gain weight because, it's Christmas or it's, our birthdays are all coming up together or something like that. But the reality is I know that as long as I go back to my system, I can get my weight right back down to where I had it. And a lot of people don't understand that. And like I said earlier, some people can be kind of jealous of that because many people, look around you. How many people do you know that are substantially overweight? I really wish they could understand how much better it feels not to be so heavy. How many more things that they can do when they're not so heavy. And that's really the goal with my book and with this channel, is to encourage people to find a healthy way, not necessarily the deciding for life way, because my way of eating works for me. Some people think that having that cheat day is a bad thing. And if you're the type of person that can eat good every day and not need a cheat day, that's probably a better way to live your life. With me and my personality, I can't do it that way. So having the cheat day and taking cheat days on holidays and stuff like that works for me and allows me to maintain a weight that allows me to do the things I want to do and do them a lot of times easier and sometimes even a lot better and feel so much better that this is what works for me. And I have to keep that in perspective. Irregardless of what other people say and do, those naysayers, they can say and do what they want. But for me, and for anybody else that's out there that really wants to control their weight, you have to realize it's your responsibility to be responsible for you, just like it's my responsibility to be responsible for myself and my weight. And if some of those things offend people, some people just have to be offended because for me, my health is much more important than hurting somebody's feelings, because it's important to me. I see my older relatives around me and how much they struggle. And because I've lost a substantial amount of weight, losing 70 pounds and seeing how much better you can do things and how much easier things are, it's just until you have felt the difference, it's really hard to explain to somebody. And even, I've lost 70 pounds and it's still hard for me to explain to people. But if other people could feel what I feel and do the things that I can do now that I couldn't do before, I couldn't do as well before, they think about, what they say to people that are losing weight or trying to lose weight, and take that a little bit more in perspective, because it can have a big negative effect on you if you allow it to. You have no control over what other people say. You only have control over your reaction to what they say. And for me, that's what I have to do. And in some instances, that means I don't get around some people quite as much, because it's just like a person that has a drug problem. If you keep going around those people with the drug problems, you're probably going to still have a drug problem. I'll be around people enough to, maintain friendships and family. But for me, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with people that really want to push food on me and make me fat like I used to be, because I know it's not healthy for me. And some of those choices are things that I just have to do for my health and my family. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. If you know somebody that this content can be helpful to, please share. Because if they could feel how great I feel and how much different they will feel if they lose 70 pounds, they'll be grateful to you forever. Thanks for watching, and may you have an awesome and healthier and lighter day.